Hello everyone. So in this episode we are going to work on this selected actors panel. So here when you select actors you see an icon of the actor and then down below the health bar. So if I deselect it goes away. If I select three actors you see it appears here. So this is what we are going to work on today. So we are going to set up the widget for the UI and then we are going to set up a delegate in our C++ top-down player controller, and our UI is going to subscribe into the delegate that we define in C++, and when the delegate event is fired, UI is going to show this selected actor details here. Okay, so let's see how to do these things today. Before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done from my Patreon page. Once you become a member, you can access everything without any limits. And in this playlist, you can watch all the episodes where I implemented everything from scratch. So you can follow along and implement by yourself, just like I have done here in my project. And also this is exclusively focusing on C++, but there is another series that I did on strategy games, but this is here I'm using Blueprint. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. I'll leave links to everything in description below. Okay, so now let's see how to implement selection, not selection, how to show the selected actors here. Okay, so this is what we have worked on so far. Here you can see in terms of HUD the basic layout, and here you can see the resource counters: wood, food, gold, stone, and the population. Now today what I want to do is when I select the characters, they should appear down here in this section. Alright, so to get started, first thing I would need is, let's go to here, widget blueprint HUD, and this is the section that I need to add those icons. So let's set up some kind of a panel for that. Actually, for this purpose, a wrap box should work nicely. So I'll set it. It should be set up like this, but to make sure it scales correctly. Yeah, let's set the anchors this way. Okay, now set offsets, everything to 0. So to see how this would work, I need, what do I put in here? So we would need a custom widget that represents the character or whatever the actor that we select, and then it's a health level, because we keep this Age of Empires reference. So here this is the way it appears in Age of Empires, the character icon, and underneath that the character's health level. Okay, so to do that, here let's create a new widget, user widget, and I'll call it WPP selected actor icon. No, it's just selected actor. That's fine. And just like the resource counter we did yesterday, I need to use this same border, and inside the border I need to use the characters icon. We don't really need a counter, so this is here. I'll add a border, and it's the icon. I'll give this, and within not as the icon, as the background. And we added some kind of outline for that. Let me copy that. Well, I'll directly copy this, but you can see the outline settings here. Okay, but the outline does not appear here, but it should appear when we put this inside here. But before that, let's add a characters icon. So this is something that I just took a screenshot basically from the skeletal mesh. So that's all. And this, I'm gonna add this as another border. The reason is because within this we need to show the progress bar that shows the health level of the character as well. So that's why. So here, now here, down here, we need to see the health level. So for that, well, before the health level, let's just put this in here and let's see how it looks. Selected actor icon. Okay, it appears like this. Okay, we can't really, I don't think we can control the size here. Yeah, we can't. So therefore, let's wrap this with a size box. Main desired width and height. Let's write 30 by 30. Compile. Go here. Yep, that seems fine. But we need some space in between selections. And we can do it like this here. Inner slot padding 5 and 5. Okay, and the wrap box itself should have some padding. Fire, fire, fire. Okay, this looks alright to me. So if I just keep duplicating, you see, it goes down. And I don't know what happens if I keep going. So it goes down, of course, but that is something that I wish to avoid. I don't really want to overflow it. I also don't want to add a scroll bar. So here we get an arrow when we have when we have an overflow, we get an arrow in Age of Empires. So I'm gonna use the same method, but let's not worry about that now. So now let's see how to add the health bar component. So here we can add a progress bar under this border, but this is too big. Let's see, just to see. Make it black. Okay. compile. Now see, it appears like this, but that's too big. It's smaller, maybe another size box. And here, max desired height. Let's set a 5. Compile. Right. That seems fine, but I don't really want to have this much of a padding. Why do I have a padding? Oh, this must be. Okay, I think this is good. Let's see how it is in here. We do have a little bit of a line here. So what? That's better. Okay. Actually, if this width is 2, the outline width is 2. So I'll make it 2. But no, the height is not enough. So from bottom to top to 9. Yeah, this is better. Okay, let's just see how this looks here. Okay, so it looks clear enough, but the next thing is we need to actually bind this instead of just leaving the icons like this. When I actually select characters, we need them to appear here. So how do we do that? First, let me go here, make this invisible, and delete all this. Okay. One more thing I should note here, this is red, but later on I need to implement a method to change this color to team color, because in Age of Empires we have like red teams, red faction, blue factions, things like green. So I want to implement a way to reflect that team color here, but not today, just down the line I will do that. Okay, now how do we bind it to the selection? So for that we need to go to our C++ project, and in our player controller we need to set up a delegate when actors are selected. So this is my top-down player controller header file, and here I'll declare a delegate, declare dynamic multiclass delegate, one parameter. I'll call it f on actors selected delegate, and the parameter type is const array type const array actor pointer. Then the parameter name is selected. Okay. All right. Now using this type, we can add a delegate. So here first let's call it F on actor selected. What did I call it? F on actor selected. Delegate. F on actor selected delegate. I'll call it on actor selected. Okay. Now we have the delegate. We need to make sure that this is accessible from blueprints. So to do that, let's call it blueprint. Let's make it blueprint assignable and equals delegate. Now we can call this when we select actor. So at the end, selected cast, the parameter is selected actors. Okay, that should be all. Now if I go back to my project and compile, let's see if we have any errors. All good. Okay, now here in the HUD, I should be able to subscribe to that delegate. But to do that, let's get player controller. We need to cast this to top down player controller. Otherwise we don't have access to the delegate. And find to on actors selected. Find event to on actors selected. Here let's create event. And we don't have a matching function, so let's create a matching function. I'll name it on actors selected or refresh selection. That's better. Okay, now let's run a for each loop here. And for each actor that I have selected, I need to create one of these WBP selected actors widgets. So create widget. WBP selected actors, and we need to add this to this wrap box. Selected actors. Let's call it that. Now here we can access it. Add child to wrap box, and we can add it. So now we need to actually initialize this texture and the health level or whatever the details that we need to update for each selected actor, and then we need to show them in the selected actors panel. But for now, I'm not gonna do that. I just need to establish the selection process and the delegate, and I need to bind the UI into the player controller. That's all I want to do here. So I'm not gonna do that right now. We will do that maybe tomorrow. And after everything is done, we can exit the function. Okay, now let's see here. If I select, see, 4 of them appeared. But if I deselect, nothing happens. If I select again, 2 more appeared. So we are not refreshing. And let's take care of that too. Get the selected actors panel. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, right. Now it's good. If I deselect, it goes away. And you see, the health level is always 50% because we didn't update that according to the selected character, but let's not worry about that now. That's a problem for another episode. Alright, I think we can stop this episode right here. So thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available for download in the Patreon page. Link could be in the description below. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.